In King's Landing, Joffrey Baratheon now sits on the Iron Throne. But everyone knows that his position is far from secure. Joffrey may wear the crown, but his enemies are everywhere. Robb Stark has won several battles against the Lannisters and is building a powerful reputation in the north. Stannis Baratheon, the older brother of the late King Robert, has also declared himself the rightful king. And then there is Renly Baratheon, Robert's younger brother, who has gathered powerful allies of his own. The realm is effectively being torn apart by competing claims to the throne. But in King's Landing, Joffrey behaves as though victory is already guaranteed. During his name day celebrations, the young king orders a brutal display meant to demonstrate his authority. His behavior makes one thing very clear. Joffrey is not interested in becoming a good king. He wants to be feared. And unfortunately for the people around him, he has the power to make that fear very real. Meanwhile, across the narrow sea, Daenerys Targaryen is facing a completely different problem. Her journey through the eastern lands has left her with only a small group of followers. The once powerful Targaryen princess is now struggling simply to survive. Her 3 dragons are still young, and her army is tiny. She cannot simply march into Westeros and take the Iron Throne. For now, Daenerys must find food, water and shelter for the people who have chosen to follow her. But giving up has never been an option for her. She still believes that one day she will return to Westeros and claim the throne she believes belongs to her family. The problem is that before she can conquer anything, she must first survive the harsh lands surrounding her. Back in Westeros, Robb Stark is proving that he is much more than a grieving son. The young Stark has already defeated the Lannisters in several battles. But his victories have created a new problem. Robb's enemies now understand that he is a serious threat. He is holding Jaime Lannister captive, and the Lannisters desperately want him back. Robb therefore has enormous leverage. But he also knows that defeating the Lannisters on the battlefield will not necessarily win the war. He needs allies. And this is where the political side of the conflict becomes just as important as the fighting. Robb sends his mother, Catelyn Stark, to negotiate with other powerful leaders. Her mission is to strengthen the Stark position while Robb continues his campaign against the Lannisters. But Catelyn is also carrying the weight of everything her family has already lost. Her husband is dead. Her daughters remain in King's Landing. And her sons are fighting a war that could destroy their entire family. At the same time, Tyrion Lannister arrives in King's Landing. His father, Tywin Lannister, has been fighting Robb Stark and cannot remain in the capital. So Tyrion is given an important responsibility. He must serve as Hand of the King. But this is not simply a promotion. It is a dangerous assignment. King's Landing is filled with people competing for influence over Joffrey. Cersei wants to control her son. The small council has its own political interests. And Tyrion knows that if Joffrey continues behaving recklessly, the Lannisters could lose control of the city. When Tyrion enters King's Landing, he immediately begins challenging the people who believe they can manipulate him. He is not interested in pretending that Joffrey is a wise ruler. Instead, Tyrion begins quietly preparing to protect his family's position. And unlike many of the people surrounding Joffrey, Tyrion understands something important. Power is not simply about sitting on the throne. It's about controlling what happens around it. Farther north, the situation is becoming even more disturbing. Jon Snow and the Night's Watch are beyond the wall, investigating strange events in the wilderness. The wall has protected the 7 kingdoms for thousands of years. But now, rumors of strange activity beyond it are spreading. The men of the Night's Watch encounter people who should have been safe in their homes but have instead been killed or disappeared. Jon is beginning to understand that something is deeply wrong. The threat beyond the wall is not simply the wildlings. There may be something much worse. And while the people of Westeros are busy fighting each other, almost nobody is paying attention. Back in King's Landing, Tyrion's arrival immediately creates tension with Cersei. The siblings have never trusted each other completely. Cersei believes Tyrion is dangerous and unpredictable. Tyrion believes Cersei's obsession with controlling Joffrey could eventually destroy the kingdom. Their conflict is not merely personal. Both of them understand that whoever controls Joffrey effectively controls the Iron Throne. And Tyrion has no intention of allowing Cersei to control everything. He begins removing some of the people he believes are unreliable, while testing the loyalty of those around him. It becomes a political chess game, and Tyrion is playing it carefully. But the biggest threat to Joffrey may not be inside King's Landing. News arrives that Stannis Baratheon has gathered forces and is preparing to challenge Joffrey. Stannis believes the throne is legally his. Unlike Renly, he does not care about popularity. He believes his claim is based on law and succession, and he is willing to fight for it. The situation becomes even more complicated because Renly also believes he should be king. Two brothers, one throne, and an inevitable conflict between them. Westeros now has multiple kings fighting over the same kingdom. Meanwhile, Robb Stark faces a difficult decision. His campaign against the Lannisters is going well, but winning battles is only part of the problem. The North needs allies. The Starks cannot defeat the entire Lannister army alone. And so Robb's war begins shifting from simple revenge into something much larger. He is no longer fighting only because his father was murdered. He is fighting for the independence of the North. But that dream comes with a price. Every alliance will require compromises. Every promise will create consequences. And Robb does not yet understand how dangerous political promises can become. Then Daenerys. Her people are exhausted. Her dragons are still too young to protect them. And the land around them appears almost completely empty. Daenerys realizes that continuing forward without finding help could mean death for everyone following her. Yet she refuses to surrender. She sends riders ahead to search for civilization. If they can find a city, they may find food, water, and perhaps a path toward rebuilding their strength. For Daenerys, the journey is no longer simply about escaping danger. It is the beginning of her transformation from a surviving exile into a potential conqueror. But she still has a very long way to go. The different conflicts across Westeros begin to feel connected. Robb Stark is fighting in the north. Stannis is preparing his challenge. Renly is gathering supporters. Joffrey is trying to maintain his grip on King's Landing. Tyrion is beginning his political battle against his own sister. Jon Snow is discovering disturbing signs beyond the wall. And Daenerys is struggling to keep her tiny group alive in the east. Everyone is fighting for something. A throne, kingdom, family, or simply survival. But none of them realize that the greatest danger may not come from another army.